evening, everyone. My name is Jason, and I am a librarian here with the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Libraries.
And my name is Tanisha, and I'm also a library staff member as well.
Tonight we're going to be doing celebrations around the world. This is a new series that we're starting, and this we're going to focus tonight from 6:30 until 6:50 on Christmas, and then from 7 to 7:20 tonight we're going to focus on Hanukkah. So two major holidays that we have coming up here in December. Miss Tanisha is going to talk about those.
All right, so let's dive right in. Thank you so much, Jason, for that lovely introduction. So welcome to Celebrations Around the World. And tonight we are going to be talking about Christmas. So as Americans, I'm sure a lot of us are very familiar with Christmas, that it is one of the largest holidays, one of the biggest holidays that we celebrate throughout the year. But we wanted to do a different spin on it. So tonight I am very excited to be presenting how Christmas is celebrated in some other countries around the world, some other traditions and some other ways that people celebrate this wonderful holiday. So I am going to take off my camera so we can get started. All right, a quick note about this program. So of course, whenever we are talking about any type of religious observance, people have, their ways that they celebrate them and the ways that they think that they should celebrate them, which are all lovely and which are all wonderful. But we are focusing today on the cultural traditions that surround the celebrations. So we're talking about, the fun part, like how people ring it in. So I'm sure people out there have certain views and opinions on how things should be done. But today we're just talking about the fun part of the holiday and how other people around the world observe these celebrations. So for those that may not know, let's talk about what Christmas is. So Christmas is a Christian festival commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ. It was first recorded, the first recorded celebrations of Christmas were around, and again, these are the first recorded, were around 300 CE. It is perhaps one of the most celebrated and important Christian holidays of the year following Easter. And many Christmas celebrations include a church service, a large meal exchanging gifts, and visiting with families and friends. And tonight we actually have some poll questions for you. So we'll be asking the audience some questions as well. So let me bring one of those up. I think it's a good time to launch a poll. So first question I have for you all is if you and your family celebrate Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll, give you guys a few minutes to answer. So very interesting results. So 25% of our audience celebrates Christmas and 75% do not. So that's awesome. I am so glad that we're able to share this fantastic holiday for those who may not celebrate it. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the traditions surrounding it. So on my slide that I have here are some of the traditions that we see in the United States, because even though we are celebrating, talking about celebrations around the world, I did want to touch on a couple of things that you may see as far as Christmas observance in the United States. So on the top there, you see that we have a decorated house. So of course, brightly lit houses are a big thing in the United States. People like to put out their Christmas decorations. In the middle, that image there is an image of the nativity scene. So that is an image from the biblical depiction of the birth of Jesus. So that is something that a lot of people who do observe Christmas, they may put a nativity scene in their yard. They may have a nativity scene in their house. I know with my parents, my mom puts out a nativity scene in the front door foyer. I always forget how they say that. She has one on the table there. When you first walk in, you see it during the Christmas season. And then of course, a picture of a Christmas tree. I'm actually looking at my Christmas tree right now. So the Christmas tree in the house is definitely a big part of the observance in the United States. So when is Christmas celebrated? Pay very close to this slide because we're going to have some trivia questions coming up at the end. So Christmas Day is December 25th in most Christian denominations. There are some Christian denominations that celebrate it on different days. So there's some that celebrate at the beginning of January. The Christmas season, or Christmastide, lasts from the end of November until the beginning of January. Advent is the season before Christmas Day. So that might be, you may have heard of, for example, the Advent calendar. So that's what it's referring to. So it begins on the fourth Sunday before Christmas. It is also the beginning of the Christian calendar year. Christmas Eve, of course, is the day before Christmas. And you may, of course, that wonderful song, The 12 Days of Christmas. So it actually is rooted in something. So the 12 days of Christmas are considered the days after Christmas Day, culminating on January 6th. And depending on your Christian denomination, that may be the day of the Epiphany, Three Kings Day. I've heard it called a lot of things. So depending on your background, it may be called different things. So our first country that we will be profiling this evening is Christmas in Pakistan. So I thought that this was, as Jason mentioned earlier, I'm like, I didn't know that. So Christmas in Pakistan is, I'm sure a lot of people know, Pakistan is a majority Muslim country. And it's one of the countries in the world, like one of the non-majority Christian countries in the world that where people are able to openly celebrate Christmas. And I thought that was really cool. So December 25th in Pakistan is a public holiday, but to celebrate the founder of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. I hope I said that right. So it is, so people do have the day off in Pakistan for Christmas, but it's for a different reason. In Pakistan, Christmas is known as Baradeen, with the traditional Christmas greeting being Baradeen Mubarak Ho, meaning the blessing of Christmas on you. Pakistani Christians celebrate with fireworks, Christmas caroling, and a midnight mass on Christmas Eve. So some of the things that you may see in the United States as well. And I thought this was really fun, along with the Christmas tree, a decorated crib is also part of the decor. The crib, of course, depicting Jesus was born in a manger, but a crib, the birth of a baby, and they have crib decorating contests. So in some places they actually have a decorating contest for the crib, and I just thought that was really cool. And you'll see on the left-hand side there the Pakistani flag. The Christmas tree is also very prevalent in Pakistan, so they do have Christmas trees there for those who celebrate Christmas, and then a procession at a Christian church in Pakistan for a Christmas celebration. You can kind of see the Christmas decorations that they have up there. Sweden. So I don't know if anybody in the audience is familiar with the American Girl doll series, but I specifically remember this celebration as a kid when I was reading through the American Girl series with Kirsten and how she celebrated one of the parts of the Christmas season that we are talking about today. So one of the biggest celebrations of the Christmas season in Sweden is St. Lucia Day. It is a feast day midway, and I forgot to put the date there, about, I believe it's December 14th. It is a feast day widely celebrated as a festival of light. This celebration features a church service where a girl dresses as St. Lucia. She wears a white gown, a red sash, and a crown of electric candles. So something else that was very interesting that I learned about when I was researching for this program is that back in earlier times, pre-electricity, pre-batteries, the girls would actually wear real candles. And I just remember thinking to myself, oh my goodness, like, never hear about too many. They were very careful and the girls were older, but back in the day, they used to wear real candles. And on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you'll see a picture of a girl depicted as St. Lucia. Lusacats, or St. Lucia buns, St. Lucia buns are served. They are flavored with saffron and raisins. I got a picture of those on the upper left-hand side. And the Christmas season begins on Första Advent, the fourth Sunday before Christmas. Swedes will put an Advent star in their window, and in the middle there, I have a picture of some Advent stars in the window. Advent candles are lit each Sunday before Christmas, and they are kept in a box decorated with winter greenery. And our next country, as we make our way around the world in the celebration of Christmas, is Christmas in Ghana. So Ghana is in Africa. And in Ghana, the Christmas season starts on December 20th and ends the first week of January. Ghana is a very culturally diverse country, and they have a ton of different tribes. So celebrations regarding Christmas vary. They're based on tribal customs and traditions. And I've mentioned here that there are over 30 official languages in Ghana, but there are over 80 recognized languages in Ghana. So they have a lot of different cultures, a lot of different tribes, a lot of different traditions in the country of Ghana. They mark Christmas with large parties held at hotels, beaches, and community centers. And they also have their version of Santa Claus. So they have Papa Bronya that bring gifts to children. There are Christmas church services, and they feature a lot of the tribal and cultural traditions that are found in Ghana. So there's drumming and dancing. I have a picture of some kids there enjoying themselves, and they sing their songs in the local language. So again, I mentioned that there's a whole lot of languages in Ghana, so their religious celebrations are definitely colored with their own tribal or cultural traditions. And December also marks the start of the cocoa harvest in Ghana, and they serve traditional Ghanaian foods such as okra soup, porridge, and fufu. So on the top of the page there, on the upper left-hand side, so what is actually fufu is that white ball that's in the middle of the soup, and I believe that's a fish soup. So it's like a white carby ball. It's actually pretty good. I've had some before, and it's very, very tasty. So before we get going here, and before I answer my trivia question, and of course, if you have any questions about anything that we have talked about today, please drop them in the questions tab. So if you would like to learn more about Christmas, we have a bunch of different resources. If you do a search in our catalog for Christmas, you are going to come up with hundreds of titles. There are a lot of books out there if you are interested in checking out a book that have to do with Christmas on our ebook platforms, Hoopla and Overdrive, or Overdrive by Libby. We have a ton there. Also, World Book Encyclopedia, that's on our learning and research page. They also have some great resources on Christmas. And I also included our Burgert Brothers, our resource of the Burgert Brothers pictures, and that's also available on the learning and research tab of our website, because I found some really fun images of Christmas celebrations in Tampa, like old school Christmas, like from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And so to get an idea of how Tampa celebrated Christmas back in the day, that's a lovely resource to go and take a look at. So let me go ahead and launch my next poll. And we're gonna throw a little bit of trivia at you guys. So this one is going to be a true or false question. Christmas always falls on December 25th. True or false? All right, so unfortunately, 75% of our group was wrong. So Christmas is not always celebrated on December 25th. As I mentioned before, it is for most Christian denominations, but there's some like the Eastern Orthodox traditions and other Christian denominations that actually celebrate Christmas on January 6th or January 7th. So not everybody does, but that is a wonderful opportunity for you guys to check out our resources and see how every other people and other cultures and other traditions celebrate Christmas. So Jason, do we have any questions?
We sure do. Do you want to close that poll?
Oh, yeah, I should probably do that. All right, it's closed.
Awesome. So we had one, it was more of a comment, and this person is from a part of India that does celebrate Christmas.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
They have Christmas trees, they have hanging lights.
All right.
They go to midnight mass, very similar to the Catholic Christians. And then here's the one thing that they were like, ooh, they have plum cake.
Ooh.
So I've made
That
figgy
sounds delicious.
pudding, but I've never made plum cake. I would
Yeah,
definitely
me
love to
neither.
have a recipe, by the way. Hint, hint.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why we did put together our Celebrations Around the World program, is because it is really interesting to see. Because again, we know how we in our own personal families celebrate Christmas, and we know how Christmas is observed, and even in the United States. So I come from an African American background and then a Cuban background. And so the way that my two families celebrate, my two sides of my family celebrate Christmas are very, very different. So just how, talking about how Christmas is observed, and that's really interesting to find out how people celebrate Christmas in India too. It's just a really wonderful way to share our cultures and traditions. Jason, do we have any time left for any other questions?
We do. We have about 2 or 3 more minutes. And it says many people that even if they are not Christians in parts of the world, that they still have Christmas trees, which I found
You know
interesting.
what? I knew that. So I had some Jewish friends in high school and college, and they told me growing up they had Christmas trees, and I thought that was so interesting. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, because they're fun. What's fun? I mean, what's it's so brightly, and I'm looking at my Christmas tree right now, and it does. It really does. It just makes your whole house more festive. It just makes everything brighter and more festive. So I totally understand why you would want a Christmas tree in your house, because it definitely does add a little bit of cheer to your home.
Absolutely. So I lived in Germany for a little while, and their tradition was one, they didn't have any fake Christmas trees at that time. You actually had to go to the forest and cut your own down, one. And then two, they have a good Santa Claus or Saint Nick, and then they have a bad one called Krampus. And so, that was also interesting to see the differences. And if you know any of the like Christmas songs that play in stores, you'll hear, if you're naughty or nice. Well, there was a reason, because there's a naughty Santa Claus and then there's a nice Santa Claus in Germany.
That is fantastic. So Jason, it looks like we are just about out of time. All right, and of course, if we already answered questions. If you would like to contact us, you can contact us by phone, email, text, however you'd like. And of course, if you want to see any other library programs and events, you can go to our events calendar as well.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We had a fantastic time, and I will see you in 10 minutes, I hope.
All right, bye
Bye,
guys.
everyone.